Hey guys, welcome back. Sensei Snap here, and today we're just going to do a little bit of a overview of the upcoming Dark and Darker playtest. So firstly, a lot of you have asked, what is Dark and Darker? Well, Dark and Darker is a team-based extraction game set in a D&D fantasy universe. You can go it solo, but the game does encourage you to play as a team because of the various classes and perks. Now, with many classes to choose from, you can kind of create your most ideal D&D character. But you simply select your preferred class, and then each class has its own unique perks, armor, weapons, and playstyle, very much. Now, some fighters like the fighter or the ranger, even though they specialize in one aspect of their character build, they do allow you to be a lot more ambidextrous, should I say, with their kit. So the ranger, which starts with a bow, does allow you to have a perk where you can use a spear. If not, the ranger normally has to use the bow or any short sword. Whereas the fighter, on the other hand, who uses normally the sword and shield, most versatile character, does have a perk to allow you to use a bow. So you can kind of mix and match depending on your playstyle. Whereas someone like me, I main the rogue, and the rogue can only use daggers and rapiers and is restricted to light armor. In the game, when you pick your character, you are in a way restricted to specific weapons and armor, but that's all dependent on the character you choose. But you can still pick up these items and sell them to various traders and vendors in the game to make yourself a bit of gold on the side. Now let's get to the reason why you're all here. When is the next playtest? So Iron Mace have said, over the developers of the game, the next playtest should be on the 28th of October this year. So it's really close, around the corner, and it's completely free. How do I get access? It's really easy. Just go onto the Steam page on the day the playtest is out on the 28th. It might be sooner, I'm not sure. Just have to keep an eye out. But literally request access and they'll probably let you in, to be honest. The amount of people playing the game from the previous playtest was way over their expectations, and they actually extended the playtest for us. So we got a lot more playing time than originally planned. Now, I haven't really gone into the depths of how you play the game. So how do you play Dark and Darker? Dark and Darker is pretty much down to 3 simple steps. First one, obviously, request access, get the game. Secondly, pick your character. Have a look at what options you have. You have a cleric where you can heal people. You have a mage, you have a rogue, which is the sneaky one, a ranger, the barbarian, the fighter. I think there might be one more. I could be missing one off the top of my head, so I do apologize. Once you pick your character, you will start with their basic loadout and some money and some items. Just load straight into the raids once you've kitted out your character. And the benefit is, if you do die, you always have the basic loadout for that said character. So you always have some equipment to go into a raid with. So none of this gear fear should exist in Dark and Darker. Once you're into the raid, whether you're solo or with a team, make your way through the dungeon and keep an eye out on your minimap. There will be a white circle similar to Battle Royales where you don't want to be outside the circle. Over time, the damage gets worse if you're outside the circle, just like in Battle Royales, but the game encourages you to stay within the circle because that's where the PvP normally is. And yeah, it's just the best place to be. When you make your way through the dungeon, you will come across various chests and various rooms where you can loot various objects. These objects range from weapons, armor, potions, gold, items you can sell, so you can find rings, cups, plates, things which are gold, silver, brass, and you just sell them to get money. On top of that, there's various NPCs which you will have to come across. You can't always avoid them. These vary from skeletons with swords, there's skeleton archers, there's wraiths, there's leeches, there's these weird skull flying things with bat wings. Pretty much they all vary in strength and they all have different abilities, some of which don't have any abilities at all. So just keep an eye out. Now, at any point through the raid, you'll see in the top right hand side of your screen an exit potion has opened up, or a deeper portal has opened up. Now these are either red or blue. Blue ones immediately get you out of the raid. Once you pull the switch, there's a blue circle, you can exit with all your stuff from the raid and then get out safely. The red one will take you to a deeper dungeon. The deeper dungeon is where there's harder enemies and kind of like a final boss scenario. Now, I haven't completed the final boss. I am going to do it on this playtest with a group of my friends, and we're going to be victorious and beat the game, basically. But as far as I'm aware, the first dungeon you're put in is going to be the second dungeon in the game. And then when you go deeper, that's the third dungeon. So there is actually meant to be a first level dungeon, but I don't know much on that at the moment. When it comes to the second dungeon, or the third dungeon, should I say, I don't recommend doing it solo. I would always recommend doing it with a team, because the enemies are much harder, and there's even new enemies in there, which vary from massive gargoyle type creatures, stronger zombies, stronger wraiths and leeches, there's demon dogs and a few other things, but the loot is so much greater. And some of them are actually an obstacle, so you have to find a switch which lifts up a platform, jump on that platform, then jump up again. Or there's various scenarios in the second dungeon where you have to hop on a couple of platforms to then get some loot, or however. Now, that is the end of the video, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope that's answered any of your questions. It was only a very quick overview of what's to come and when the next playtest is. There will be much more Dark and Dark content coming soon. In the meantime, please be sure to check out my shorts, all from Dark and Darker. There are one a day, a midday, all the way up to the playtest, and some after the playtest. So we're going to be keeping the content going on the Dark and Darker side of things. I'll release some more videos soon on Dark and Darker as well, with some other things on the side. Have a great morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll see you all in the next video. Sensei Snap signing off. See you then. I got it.
The other one's just gonna appear next to us. Yeah.
I'm gonna take this one soon as
It's
it's
right
open.
there. It's down there. Mod is in the middle.
I got it. Yeah, I got it. Let's leave.
See, when you're just this
Squad
good at the
takes
game.
blue. The squad takes blue and everybody out of this game because we're just different, guys.
Yeah.
We're just different, all right?
Hashtag built different.
Hashtag Timmy Hunters.
I went from level 2 to level 5, by the way.
Decent.